Good afternoon. How are you today? I had a project this morning, quite an enjoyable one. I think I've mentioned I'm a director of the Soil and Water Conservation District, which basically means we try to look out for soil and water, avoid erosion, avoid impurities, encourage best management practices, and we underwrite, landholders who are prepared to take on the responsibility. And sometimes we pay for the whole amount for like fencing and wells and things like that, cover crops. And I've been asked to head up 6 of these districts as an Area 2 president, which I agreed to do. And today we had a meeting of it. And I'm not going to go into the meeting, but one of the things that I thought was important was this young lady who has been studying how bacteria can kill plastic. And it's a substantial problem, and you may or may not realize that these tiny bits of plastic can get inside of you. Not that we don't have enough other problems. Anyhow, there's a video that I created for it, and I'll post it later, and you might enjoy it. It's not a long video, 5-6 minutes, but it goes to the heart of how the next generation cares about these things and is doing it in innovative ways. Okay, now let's go on to the, good news, bad news. Cheney stood by her guns, so to speak, and in her case, that's a perfect Second Amendment illusion, and said she wasn't going to be part of a lie. That is to say that Trump won an election that he lost. And interesting, she is being replaced by a woman named Stefanik, who's a New York congressman, also a Republican. And it's very interesting because some even thought she was liberal and she got along with all these women. And when I say all these women, I mean members of Congress who are both Democratic and Republican. And that was the significance of her getting along with these women. Now, plainly, her ambition to succeed in the Republican Party has, in my opinion, poisoned whatever good judgment she had earlier. And people fall victim to it, Potomac fever, the ambition of politics, the sense that you have any power corrupting. And so now she's embracing full-throated Trump and his challenge to the election and all these conservative principles. So where's the hidden benefit in all this? Well, if these guys are fighting among themselves, that can't be bad for those of us who believe in telling the truth and having sound policy that helps Americans. And plainly, these guys don't. And it's very interesting on TV today. Republicans are trying to organize 100 persons to form a third party in America, which would challenge this notion of Trump ever having anything to do in the government again. And that sounds like a really good party. And among the people they're supporting are Kinzinger, who has been very strong on this in the past. So, how you doing? So keep that in mind. I think on balance, having truth infecting the Republican caucus and having somebody step forward to say, let's try to have a third party. The truth is, I think Republicans are going to have to be beaten at the polls, and badly, and I hope that happens in the midterms, before they start thinking that they need a bigger tent than they've had or cared to have. And then they have to start adopting policies or pick up shop and go away. I may have mentioned in earlier podcasts and walk and talks that, when Jefferson took over from Adams, who had a whole bunch of bad ideas, including, trying to stifle the First Amendment, the Alien Sedition laws. And he was so upset about running against Jefferson, these old pals that had created this revolution, or certainly played an important part in it, who had become bitter enemies in a way, so much so that, like Trump, Adams didn't attend the inauguration. He left town at 4 a.m. on a stagecoach to Baltimore. And he was also very depressed because his son had died of alcoholism, not immediately then, but within that year. And these two men didn't have anything to say to each other for a long time. And Jefferson seized power. And by the end of his 2 terms, there was no Adams Whig Party. these guys were gone. And that'll happen to these Republicans again if they don't get on top of it. So, now, the second thing that's kind of interesting to me is because I did this broadcast from my office so that I would have enough bandwidth so that it wouldn't be compromised, I had to get some gas when I was leaving. And and you may know this, so I'm not telling you anything that's a surprise, I suppose. Gas stations are closed everywhere, not able to produce any gas. And I found a station, I guess sort of by accident, because I saw the line and I thought, well, I'll sit in line. And if there's gas, there's gas. And I had less than half a tank, and I have a couple of trips I have to make this week, and I don't know how bad this hoarding is of gasoline, but it looks like it's going to be pretty serious. And what I found was the only way to get gas was to go for the premium at the heightened expense, because there was a greater volume and everybody wasn't sucking that up. And if you were sucking up any other gas, it would take a minute to get a portion of a gallon. So it's very slow. You have to wonder if Americans just get so afraid they do the equivalent of topping off their gas tanks when they don't need to, creating this pressure. Now, of course, the ransomware that strangled our gas supply is over, and if people relax, it'll probably work itself out. But I guess how much gasoline can you buy? You fill your car, right? It's not like people who buy toilet paper. So I guess in a day or so, this will all be sensible again, although in the Southeast, they're reporting it's pretty terrible. So that's my story for the day. And I will post that video. I think if you want to spend a few minutes, you'll be impressed by this young lady, Maria McDonald, who decided that we have to do something about this so we don't have this plastic eaten inside of ourselves and killing wildlife and killing the life of rivers and streams, and in my area, the Chesapeake Bay. So have a good day. Hope you get out today if it's anything like it is here, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.